I think if we look at what are the traditional roles of marketing and sales and the way that it's worked in the past, it kind of helps explain where it needs to go. So historically, what's marketing's role? It's lead generation, handing leads to a salesperson. So crafting content that's messaged out into the marketplace that generates some form of interest, and then understanding those interest points and who the individuals are so that it can serve as a lead for a salesperson to follow up on. And then what does a salesperson do? They're taking that general messaging to the marketplace and they're pivoting it to the specific circumstance for the buyer. So that's classically what your salespeople talk about as value selling. I've got to put it in their context and sort of describe what's in it for them and how we're going to solve your unique problem with our broader offering in the marketplace. That's a pretty cold handoff, if you will, really cut and dry, and I think that's part of the problem. You don't have to look any further than the dialogue around the ways in which marketing and sales accomplish that handoff, and there are concepts of MQLs, which is a marketing qualified lead, and an SQL, which is a sales qualified lead. Well, why are there two qualified leads? And the reason for that is that there's such a significant amount of work that a salesperson needs to do as a secondary step because marketing hasn't been able to qualify that appropriately. So it's this artificial barrier that marketing and sales puts between them that assumes that sales doesn't have any responsibility for helping to define what qualification means from a marketing perspective, and it's always looked at, well, marketing does its role and then we do ours. So I think that we have done a lot of survey work in the marketplace that suggests that organizations see a lot of benefit and value for marketing and sales being better integrated, but their ability to execute in that area is pretty difficult, and they look for assistance in that. And I think that's part of the reason is that it's almost the B2B landscape broadly has sort of thrown their hands up and said, look, we acknowledge the fact that we're never going to bring these two audiences together for them to work effectively. So let's figure out a way in which we can reach a compromise and recognize that there is going to always be this work that the sales organization needs to do. We believe that if there's a better alignment, then you can start to pull some of those sales attitudes and value selling earlier into the process and accomplish that via a marketing channel. So no longer is this content that's wielded early by the marketing organization something that marketing does, it's something that sales does, powered by marketing. Sales organizations spend a lot of time focusing on value selling and what are your messages and developing your elevator pitches. We've all heard that in our careers. And think of this as, it's the elevator pitch without the elevator. It's virtual now, right? You're not ever standing in an elevator with an individual and have the opportunity to have a conversation. It happens, certainly, but more often than not, a marketer has to figure out the ways in which you do that in a virtual world, if you will. So salespeople stepping across the aisle, for lack of a better term, if I sort of think about it politically, is how do you start to help marketing organizations help you do your job better?